Hey everyone, I think we're live,
I think
according
we
to
are too.
Corey. Is
Here
it
we are. Yeah. Let's see here. I think it's on. I think we're going. So there's three people
okay?
watching, which is awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here, everybody. Happy Saturday in our world anyway.
It's probably Saturday in a lot of worlds, except maybe in like,
Probably.
not sure about India.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
today we are going to talk about O&M training, about O&M training, right, Matt?
sure. What's the title that we have? I mean, what?
The title we have is O&M Cane Training Live Chat Tips and Tricks for Blind and Low Vision.
Yeah. So we kind of want to make this somewhat of a discussion between all of us, where we can kind of throw in our own little tips and tricks as far as how we can make our lives a little bit easier. I know we've connected with a lot of different people through the comment section on various videos that we've created regarding O&M, and there's just been a lot of really nice tips in there. So I thought it would be interesting to have this video where all of us can kind of just have this like a discussion and talk about things together. Right?
Yes, and let's see. Katie Johnson says hi, Matt and
Hey,
Corey.
Katie.
Blind Shooter says
Hey,
hi.
how's it going, Blind Shooter?
Let's see. Skyflow.
Mark.
Yes,
Hey,
Mark
Mark.
says
Thanks for
hi.
being
Hi,
here.
Mark. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Skyflow Original.
Yes, Skyflow Original. Sorry, it
Yeah.
just zoomed by really fast, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my. I'm just working on getting my comments up so that I can like properly.
So Corey's logged in on her iPad so that she can watch and try to grab all the comments as they come in.
Yeah, because otherwise it's really hard for us to kind of find the comments, but
Yeah.
we'll see what's going on. So anyway, I'm gonna try and get that figured out really quick. So the blind guy says hi. Blind
Hey,
Neil
how's
says
it going?
hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Let's see, Sean Howard. Hello, you two. Hi,
Hey,
guys.
Sean. How's it going?
So this is awesome.
Yeah. So sorry about the little delay here, but yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get things set up and kind of rolling with live streams.
Just a little bit, and
Because I feel like once you hit the go live button, it's like, oh, scramble, get
I
everything ready.
know a little bit, and like I can't figure out ever how to do the oh, what's that called? Let's see here. Khalid says hello.
Hello.
Jackson says hi, Matt
Hey,
and
how's it
Corey.
going?
Hi.
Hello.
This is so nice to have you guys here.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna try and figure out how to make it so that I can read your comments better.
Right.
Live well, I believe, said hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Here we
You
go.
just turned
Now
the
I've got
sound
my
off.
sound on my dumb thing. Here we go.
So if you're just joining us, again, the theme of today's video is going to be somewhat of just like an open discussion talking about like O&M training, or not necessarily even O&M training, but just like, I don't know, cane travel, cane navigation, and any tips or tricks that you want to share, and then we can discuss it and yeah, just kind of share things with each other to make our lives a little bit easier.
Yeah, exactly. And just like how it's changed your life, maybe your fears going into it if you haven't started yet, or if you're at the beginning, just kind of discussing all of that. So, Matt, do you want to just talk about kind of how you got started? Lemon curls, hi!
Oh, hey, lemon curls.
This is awesome.
Funny.
So
Thanks for
Matt,
being here. I appreciate it.
yeah, so if you want to go ahead with that.
So how I got started? Well, realistically, how I got started was because of all of you continuing to encourage and push me to say, get the training, trust me, your independence will increase dramatically with the training. And I've been so resistant to the idea for so many years. It's just like, I could not get myself to do it, but through the help of all of you through this channel, that is what propelled me to do it. I basically made the commitment to all of you, like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I couldn't really go back on my commitment because I basically advertised here, like, hey, I'm going to do it. So I couldn't, I couldn't go back on the commitment.
Exactly. And I
But
think it's something that like he's talked about for years. I mean, we've talked about this for years. I've sort of
more like
encouraged
Corey
him.
has been like, hey, you need to do this. And I've been saying, hey, no, no, I don't.
And it's
But
hard because I
it's tough.
thought it would help him. Like I thought he would really benefit from having that independence and just from just like on a personal level, just feeling more confident. But you can't make somebody be ready.
Yeah.
And there's so many psychological factors, I think, in deciding you're going to be a blind person with a cane.
Yep.
And that was really, really hard for you because when we started dating 5 years ago, like you didn't even want to be called blind. So the
Right.
last thing you would want to do is have a blind cane.
Yeah. And another thing too is like this situation relates a little bit, but not really. I feel like this is just a good example. Like for someone who's a smoker and like for everybody saying, "Oh, you should quit, you should quit." Well, that person's not going to be ready to quit smoking until they have decided they're ready to quit. So everybody in the outside world saying, "You should quit, it's bad for you," all this stuff. I mean, they recognize that. And just like with the cane training, I knew I needed it. I recognized that, but no matter how much people pushed and told me to do it, I wasn't ready. And the same situation with like a smoker. They're not going to quit until they're truly ready to be done.
And the
And it
other
was the
thing
same
is,
situation for me.
like, I think if you had started your training, you wouldn't have been
Receptive to the information.
receptive.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have used your skills. I think you would have
Yep.
given up, or you would have been like, not spiteful, but like just like wouldn't have been right. So I'm gonna quick do some shout outs from people.
Okay.
Wendy
Perfect.
Michaels, way to go, Corey, for
Hey.
encouragement. Jordan
Yeah.
Mahoney, hi Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
Janelle.
Hey, Janelle. Thanks for being here.
Abel, Zara, Joe VIP,
Oh, man.
McGavin. I might be butchering names. Sorry, guys.
I'm glad Corey's reading the names. But actually,
Life
all
with
these.
Blindness.
Yeah.
Skyflow Original. Yeah, this is just awesome, you guys. We really,
Yeah.
really
Thanks so
love
much for being here.
You guys
Yeah.
being here, and we just shout out anything you want to say now. We've kind of got it all set up. So anything that you guys want to
Yeah.
put
Anything
in
you want to
your
share with
input.
anybody or us, if you want to talk about anything, feel free to stick it down below.
Yep, Blind Neil's here. This is just awesome.
Yeah, hey,
this
Neil.
is like super fun. We've talked about doing a live feed or live stream for so long, and we've just been really
Right.
like lazy about it, which is not
Well, it's
okay.
not lazy. Now that we changed our upload schedule a couple months ago from Monday, Wednesday, Friday to Monday, Thursday at 1 p.m., well, Central Time anyway, it's like we're both busy Monday and Thursday at those times. So it's like we can't do it realistically. We're both busy. So we thought, let's do a live stream this Saturday. I know the last time we did was probably like August or something. Remember that?
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, we wanted to do one for all of you.
Exactly. Steve Combs says hi. Katie Johnson says, not a
Yeah.
tip for blind visually impaired, but for family and friends. If the visually impaired person wants to lead, let them walk first. Not so easy to talk side by side and use cane sometimes. That makes sense. We have not actually done a lot of cane plus me. Like, what do you say?
Very minimal, yeah.
So far, we've not done a lot of that. So that'd be an interesting thing to kind of do. But I do know that when we were on the ship and I was trying to give Matt instruction on like where we were, I was not good at that. Like, we made a video about that a couple days ago, but that was not one of my skills, was
Right.
saying like where to go. I'm bad at that.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you're out with a sighted person, like this is for like sighted guide type people, definitely lead from the front, don't lead from behind. Sometimes people try to lead me from behind and it's like, no. Why is the blind guy out front? It doesn't make any sense.
But actually, that's contradictory to what Katie Johnson said. She wants to lead sometimes. And
Oh, you want to lead? Yeah.
She said she wants to. So I think with the cane, you might
Yep.
feel differently versus when I shove you forward in a crowd and I'm
Yeah.
using you as a shield.
I meant more with sighted guide. I completely agree with a cane, me out front.
Yes.
But like sighted guide, sometimes I'll have people like grab my arm and like push me forward and it's like, don't touch me. That's all I
Exactly.
want to say. Do not touch me.
Janelle wrote, in some respects, some people don't move on until they hit rock bottom and want to change.
That's so true. That is so
I think
true.
that happened to this guy.
Yeah.
A little bit. It was mostly the encouragement of you guys.
It was mostly that.
Truly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rin the Demon. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Raphael.
hello. Hey,
Hi.
Raphael.
Jordan. Mark Perkle.
Oh, what?
Hi, Dad.
That's my dad.
That's the Bubs.
Yeah.
Blind Toes. All the toes up.
All the toes up.
That's me saying to him.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Tabitha. I have had some rough vision days lately, but trying to stay positive. 2-year cane years are here, still getting somewhat anxious when going out by myself. I think that's really good perspective because just because you learn the skills, like Matt's feeling kind of good right now because he's kind of come over some of the rock bottom hump of his cane training from a few weeks ago. But I do think it's probably a learning curve.
Yeah.
And like also you get into a new situation or your vision changes a little or there's so many reasons. What
Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah, exactly. And another thing too is when you're out navigating independently, always be aware of where you are and like where you're going. So a couple days ago, today's Saturday, on Thursday I had my training session with the O&M instructor. And what we were doing that day is we were walking around the neighborhood using Google Maps to navigate. So what he would do is he would give me an address and say, okay, here's the address, and now use Google Maps and your skills to navigate to the address. Well, I mean, after my last couple successes with the cane, I've been feeling very confident lately, maybe a little too confident. And as we were navigating around the neighborhood the other day, it's like he was behind me, so I was leading out front, and we were kind of talking a little bit, and I was just holding my phone in my hand, waiting for directions to be, out loud read to me. And it's like there were a couple times where I stopped, and it's like, wait, where am I? Because it was like I was relying so much on the technology to tell me where I was, and I was talking to my trainer. It's almost like I lost perspective of where am I? Where in the heat of the moment, I should have been paying attention, like fully engaged with what I was doing. So I feel like that was one situation where my confidence was maybe a little bit too high, and I was relying too much on technology, whereas I should have been in the moment, not talking to my trainer about the weekend and Christmas, but rather working on my skills.
That's interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Blind Shooter wrote that he's been a cane user for 10 years,
Oh,
and
wow.
that his easy days are definitely outnumbering the challenging ones, but when the challenges happen, it's definitely a teaching tool.
Definitely.
And then Sarah McNabb wrote, "Hi there. There's going
Hey,
to be
Sarah.
cane days as well, like good cane and bad cane days."
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. I mean, Brittany Galena says hi.
definitely.
I do think that it makes sense. I mean,
Cane
like
days are probably
actually,
just like work days. I mean, if you report to a job or anything like that, sometimes you go in, it's a breeze, you get by. A lot of just average type days, and sometimes you go to work or like a family event or a conference or whatever it is, and you come out of there thinking, man, I never want to do that again. That was
yeah.
awful.
I
So
thought it
I
was
feel like it's just like
interesting,
everything else.
like too, like with when it snowed. So like there wasn't snow when Matt started cane training, and then it snowed like 2 weeks later, and now the ground is covered
Snow and
in
ice.
snow and ice. So like
Yeah.
today is like a super icy rainy day. I feel like that would make a huge difference in like feeling like the ground, like
It
the
is.
surface is totally changed. Like even if he's going to somewhere with the mailbox that he's used to, it's just totally different.
I mentioned that to the trainer the other day as we were navigating around. It's like when I was trying to cross the street, sidewalk to sidewalk, sometimes I would get across and it'd be like, okay, where's the sidewalk? It's so covered in snow and ice. I'm like sitting there whacking the ground with my cane thinking, where's the sidewalk? I can't even feel it because there was just so much ice on it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's one variable that, definitely changes this time of year where the ground is just covered in precipitation.
Yeah, I just think that that makes a huge difference. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's see here. McCabbin was saying that like he was talking to someone on Thursday and he forgot that there's stairs like directly to his left.
Yep.
Ama's here. Hi, Matt's
Hey, Amma.
mom.
Mom.
Blind Cube says hi.
Hello.
Lemon Curl said that she sometimes tries not to use Google Maps because there's so many directions around me that she gets frustrated.
Yep.
I think that that makes sense too. Like sometimes
Definitely makes
too
sense.
much input is stressful as well.
Also, by the way,
Which
I've had
makes
quite a
sense.
few requests after that last video of people asking if I can do more of an in-depth review on Google Maps and walking directions. So I can definitely do that at some point.
I think part of it's that you needed to get a little bit more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And also it's literally awful outside
Yeah.
in Minnesota.
Right.
Kim Lackey's here. Hi,
Hey, Kim. How's it going?
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else that we are going to talk about specifically related to the start of your cane training, but I'm not totally sure now.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
keep that in
So hey, I
mind.
wanted to throw one more
Yeah.
thing out that I've been thinking of and wanted to throw this out there, but someone else, a friend here on the channel, is that what it is? Life with Blindness? I think. Vinny, if you're here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, Life with Blindness. But anyway, we were talking, and this is something that my trainer and I also talked about. But what's really interesting is when you're out navigating, ask yourself 3 questions. And the questions are, where am I? Where am I going? And how am I going to get there? If you keep those 3 questions in mind, I feel like you will make your life so much easier just by implementing those questions. Like, where am I currently? Where am I going? And how am I going to get there? And so like when I've been navigating around the neighborhood the last couple of training sessions, well, actually just the last training session, before I figure out, like when my trainer gives me an address, before I continue and start walking toward it, the first thing I do is I pull out my phone, pull out the compass, I calibrate the compass, and then I figure out like my cardinal directions so that I know what direction am I facing, so that I have an idea of where I'm going, so that when my Google Maps says walk northeast, it's like, okay, well, northeast is that way, and then I go. It just makes it so much easier just to grab a compass, quick look at it, and get an idea of where I'm going.
I think that's really good information, and
Yeah.
that we haven't talked about yet, so that's really interesting.
Another thing too that my trainer has suggested too is if you don't know where you are, I'm guessing Android has something like this, but Siri On the iPhone, you can just simply ask Siri, "Where am I?" And she'll give you an address or the nearest intersection to where you are. So that's really helpful too. If you're completely turned around and have no idea where you are, that's just a simple way to get your directions or like your location.
I think that's really good information.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question from Canny Loomis. And
Okay.
again, might be saying your name wrong. How did you find your orientation and mobility person?
How did I find that? So here in Minnesota, there's an entity, what would it be called? An agency, I suppose.
Agency,
It's like
yeah.
a state agency called State Services for the Blind. So what I did is I reached out to them, and it was a very long process. But anyway, I reached out to them, and I eventually, over time, connected with a counselor, and then we had some meetings, and that person asked me, like, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And I said, my main focus is O&M training. I want to regain independence. So after that initial meeting, over some time, they gave me a list of, I think, like 5 O&M instructors here in the Twin Cities area. And then I basically just called all 5 of those people and interviewed them over the phone. And then I eventually broke it down. Well, I shouldn't say eventually. I broke it down very easily and simply down to one person and basically called them back and said, hey, I want to work with you.
Yep. I think
So that's how I did it. I contacted my state's agency that is for the blind, and as far as I know, each state should have some type of agency that helps blind and visually impaired.
it does seem like that. And
Yep.
I'm not sure, like, prior to Matt getting the O&M instructor from his agency, I was trying to find one online,
Yeah.
and I really struggled to do that. So I'm not sure if there's another way. But
Yeah.
I tried to look it up online to just get one to pay for, because I just wanted him to start, and I couldn't figure that out.
Right. So another thing too is if there isn't a state agency, there should be some type of like blind school or training center, something like that in maybe your area or somewhere close to you that you could connect with and possibly set something up, or at least get some valuable information from them on where to start. So like here in the Twin Cities, there's 2 low vision resources and Blind Inc. So if I didn't know anything about SSB, State Services for the Blind, I could have contacted them and they possibly could have given me information.
Actually, National Federation of the Blind,
Yep.
they might also have a way to do it.
That's also the same as Blind Inc.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, but
Okay.
otherwise you could contact NFB.
Okay, and Blindto says that each state has a blind center.
Yep.
John D. Surprise says hi.
Hey, John.
Let's see here. Blind
Yeah.
Cube use vocational rehabilitation. That's good to know.
Yep.
Beat the House Sports and Politics
Hey,
says
Chris.
hi.
Yeah, hey, Chris.
Let's see here. Jordan Mahoney says hi.
Jordan.
Zara.
Hey, Zara.
So this is good.
Very cool.
Let's see here. Actually, Zara said she was struggling to get cane training where she lives. She just had to go to a different city because it wasn't an option. Let's see here. Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually, Larry Testoot, he's here too, and
Yep.
he said
Hey,
that
Larry.
they have the Lighthouse for the Blind. Actually, I
Yeah.
feel like Lighthouse is a one that we just said, but maybe that's in multiple states.
Yep. Yeah, I think that has many locations around the
Yeah.
country.
And let's see here. And Janelle Meager, actually, I'm going to point this out. She just messaged. She is not blind, but she trains guide dogs. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to shout out to her because she's helping all of you guys,
That's
all
really
of
cool.
us.
Yeah.
People who train guide dogs are really special. They put in so much work, and it's because of people like her that everybody can get well-trained guide dogs.
Yeah,
so
that's
thank
so
you
cool.
for doing that. That is
Yeah,
a really
thanks, Janelle. I
a
mean,
special thing that you're doing to help everyone here, and I think it's just really, really awesome.
I can't even imagine how many hours it takes to train one of those dogs. I mean, they come out of there so smart and talented. It's so cool to see that.
And I think it's hard too because some dogs come in and they're not really ready to. They're not really meant. I mean, some dogs don't make it through.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be hard too. And so, and the other thing is you
Right.
fall in love with the dogs because
Yeah.
they're fantastic, and then you have to give them away. So, I mean, that's just really, really cool. She says all day, every day, LOL.
Yeah, right.
So thank you so much.
Yeah. That's cool.
Sean Howard's also here. The Low Visionary is
Sean.
also here.
Hey, guys.
The Low Visionary wanted to know how tall you are and what size of cane you were using. I'm hearing conflicting information about cane length.
Yes.
You want to touch on that? That might be good.
So I'm like 5'10", 5'11", and my cane is, what do I get, 65 inch, and that actually comes up to my nose. And my trainer said, "Oh, that's a little bit too long." But personally, I like it. I walk fast, and I like the lead time that the cane gives me. When I'm walking fast, I mean, it's only like a couple steps before I'm having collision with whatever it is that my cane finds. So I personally like the length, but my trainer recommends up to my chin. He thinks that's a little bit better. But there are other people that also recommend like to your mid chest or like your armpit area. So those are like the three measurements that I've heard are most common. Um, so yeah, that's just
It's probably just playing around and finding what your trainer wants you
yep.
to do and where you are.
If anybody else has recommendations or like, what do you think? Anybody else out there that wants to throw anything down in the comments as far as like cane length, what do you think? Like, what do you think is best?
Yeah. Um, I also, let's see here. Want to just say, let's see here. John D. Surprise wants to know what's your opinion on guide dogs.
My opinion on guide dogs, I think they're awesome. I don't have one. I think at some point I would consider that, but I feel like that's probably a couple years out. And the reason for that is I need to be fully confident and proficient in cane use before I even consider getting a guide dog. Plus, I don't think I even qualify for one until I am proficient in cane travel. So, but otherwise, I think it'd be awesome.
I mean, people do so well with guide dogs,
Yeah.
but you need to be the right person for a guide dog, and you need the skills. And so,
Actually, I know I've mentioned this in other videos too, but what I'd love to get is a miniature guide pony. I think that'd be just the coolest thing.
yeah, they're
They're
really
like
cool.
they're like the size of a dog, but it's actually a pony, and I think that'd be so much fun. So who knows? Maybe we'll have one.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Someday.
someday you'll get a guide animal
A
because
guide animal.
it will really, really help,
Hmm.
you, but
Yeah.
you're just trying to get the cane down right now
Yeah.
because that's
Maybe I
what's
could
fair.
get a guide sea turtle. Then he can go to the beach and swim with
Oh my
me.
gosh, I would love that.
Yeah. Corey would be all over him.
I would. I love sea turtles, you guys. That is my. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. And you guys are all talking about, a guide pig, blind
Guide pig.
cube. I'm all over that. Pigs are one of my favorite land animals. They're also very smart, though motivated highly by food. So most likely you would end up in like a donut shop every day. I know that that's not how it works, but
Yeah.
hey, that'd be okay.
Sure.
A guide llama. Ama. That's good.
Funny.
Yeah, and I really appreciate. I'm not reading all the comments that are coming in. A lot of you guys are kind of talking amongst yourselves about cane training and different things, and I think that that's really good. Let's see here, and also your cane length, which is really helpful to
Oh,
each
good.
other.
There's some
So,
comments about that.
yeah, I think
Perfect.
that that's really nice.
Yeah.
So I think that that's good. Matt, do you want to talk about how your initial like fears or challenges with the cane? A couple people wanted to know about that too.
Initial fears. What was it?
Like
Challenges.
I would say like any horror stories, anything like
Horror stories.
kind of like
Yeah.
how it's going, like how it went to be, like where were your struggles?
Sure.
And
I've talked
how
about
you've
this in
overcome that.
yeah, I've talked about this in other videos too, but I can reiterate just a little bit. Yeah, as far as fears or like difficult times, yeah, I can definitely share those with you. The reason is I've been traumatized by them, and I'll probably never forget them. But it was a good learning experience. And the reason I say that is, so I started the training back on November 15th. That was the first day that I met with the trainer. We actually just trained here around the house. We basically just learned, what am I trying to
Sighted
say?
guide.
Sighted guide and like proper sighted guide techniques. So I don't really count the first session as all that. I don't really count it because we weren't out in the field working. But session number 2, the next day, November 16th. So that was like my first day being absolutely traumatized. And the reason I say that is we went to the mall. I didn't realize we were going to the mall on day 2. I thought we were going to get there a little bit later in the training, but we went to the mall. And we basically what it was is he was just having me trail walls, like learning how to do like the what is it, two tap or two touch method with the cane, basically just tapping on both sides. So just getting the swing of the cane down, the rhythm of the walking and the swinging, the tapping, things like that, and just training walls or trailing walls. So that's how we first started. So the first day was pretty basic, but it was very I don't know if I want to say embarrassing, but I had a
You
really hard
felt
time
you
with
you
it.
used the word embarrassing when you
Yeah.
came home.
Yeah. I felt absolutely hideous. And the reason for that is there were people all around the mall. I didn't know what I was doing. And I just felt like everybody was watching me. So it was a really hard time for me, but that was not the worst of it yet. So that was day one. I kind of just laughed everything off that day because I thought, like, this is so ridiculous. I can't even believe I'm doing this. So that was day one.
And he didn't feel proud yet.
I did
Like I
not feel
came home
proud
and I was
yet.
like, "Well, do you feel proud of your accomplishments? Do you feel like good about yourself?" And he was like, "No, I feel actually horrible about myself."
Yeah, pretty much.
So that
I
wasn't
felt
good
like
yet.
Yeah, I felt like I was a circus animal that everybody was like standing around, free admission, here, watch the circus for free. I felt like that's how I was. Um, so after that, a couple more sessions later, and we kept going back to the mall. So the first 8 sessions, we were at the mall every day. 7 of those sessions, we were at the mall, with the exception of the first one. And every day, we would continue to progress more and more. And he would the assignments would be basically double what they were the previous day. So what did we do the second day? I think what we were doing is trying to cross maybe like storefronts. So in the mall, there's storefronts, and basically my question was, how do I know if it's a storefront or if it's a hallway? How do I know, and how do I get across it effectively so that I'm making my way straight across? And he was teaching me how to basically get across these doorways, and I don't know, and how to determine if it's a store versus a hallway. And that's what we were doing. So basically, every session after the first one, he was giving me an assignment where I would walk down like 3 storefronts. Maybe that was the first one. And then the next day would be like walk down 3 stores, take a right, walk down 3 more, and then step back and take a picture of the sign above the store and determine which store you're at, and I'll meet you there, kind of thing. So I would say that's all it was. And then eventually, I think it was maybe like day 3 or 4 or something like that. He gave me a huge assignment where I basically had to walk. I started outside in Nordstrom's. I had to walk down the hall, take a right at the corner, walk all the way down to Macy's, which was at the end. And then out in front of Macy's somewhere was a stair, like a bunch of stairs. I had to go down the stairs and then retrace the wall downstairs back to Nordstrom's. Well, I trailed the wall down to the first right that I was supposed to be at. Well, I didn't know it was a right. I thought it was just a store opening. So I walked right past that corner, and I was out in the middle of the hall, like, okay, trying to figure out where I was. Well, meanwhile, I had this like grandma lady approach me, and she's like, "Oh, can I help you?" And I was like, "Sure." And I was just kind of like laughing the whole situation off because I thought this is just ridiculous. Like, I'm so lost right now. I don't even know what I'm doing. And eventually I asked her very specific questions. Like, I faced toward where I thought Macy's was, and I kind of pointed with my fingers and said, "Is Macy's down that way?" And she said, "Yes, it's down that direction." And eventually I made my way back to the wall. But anyway, she walked with me the entire way back down to like downstairs and around the corner and back to where I needed to be at the very end. And she was kind of helping me the whole way. But again, it was an incredibly stressful time because I felt like I hadn't improved my skills enough to even be doing that assignment yet. Like, I felt like I still needed to work on proper cane techniques as far as like the swinging of the canes and as far as crossing door openings and things like that. But yet here I am trying to navigate across a quarter of the mall independently. So I felt like that was a really bad situation. It was really tough for me. That was very stressful. But I would say I continued to go on, even though it was really tough because I knew at some point it's going to get better. I didn't know when that would be, if it would be the next session or 10 sessions later. I just knew at some point it would get better. Plus, I also made a commitment to all of you that I would continue with this training, even though I think I came home maybe after that session and told Corey, I think I'm going to be done.
Well, and
Maybe it was the session after that. I'm
it was
not
right
sure.
around there, but here's what really, I mean, the deal is Matt was having like a constant panic attack where he was breaking out, he was sweating profusely, he was having heart palpitations, he wasn't sleeping. I mean, he was like we went to Target that night to like get some milk, and he was like, "I just want to stay in the car because I'm just feeling traumatized."
Traumatized was the word I was
He
using.
literally
Yeah.
isn't like that. It was like alarming, and I was really nervous, and I thought, you know what? Like, this isn't right for you. Like, you need a different trainer. I think really what it came down to is that you needed to communicate with the trainer better because the trainer was pushing you forward really hard, which actually I think was a good thing overall. But It's interesting. Like, don't you
Very.
think that that was your turning point, was when you finally got the courage to talk to your trainer and say, like, hey, I just need, like, you kept saying this phrase that I can't remember, like, you were a master of, no,
I feel like I was, what was the saying
you
I was
said
saying? Like a jack of all trades, master of none.
that's how you
So that's
felt.
what I
Like,
kept saying
you
because I
just
felt
felt like
like,
you were fake, like, you felt like you didn't have any, like, you learned all these random things, but, like, you didn't really feel like you were good at anything. And you just
yeah,
knew, like, if you had one success, that you'd probably be okay.
yeah. I didn't perfect any of the skills I had, is how I was feeling. It's like, I can't believe we're progressing so fast and none of my skills are perfected to any degree. And I thought, how can this continue? That's where I think a lot of my confusion and frustration was coming from, is like, I'm still trying to get down the swinging and tapping and the rhythm of the cane. And here I am walking across the mall completely by myself. It's like, I don't even know
Yeah.
what the heck I'm doing here.
I'm gonna cut in really fast because Blind Toes just said something that I thought was actually really interesting that I want to bring up because you brought it up to me before.
Yeah.
He said at least you get to practice your socialization to talk to people.
Yep.
I think, Matt, you should bring up what cane training has done for you in terms of your socialization, because
Yep.
you've said a few things to me that I thought were kind of prolific in terms of that you guys might really like appreciate.
Yeah. So I think there was one other really tough day in there. I don't remember exactly what we did that day, but here is one thing that helps. And now a lot of people probably think like this is, oh, that's crazy. Like I don't believe in this stuff. But I was, the night before, I literally did not sleep because I was just like dreading the training the next day. I thought, oh my gosh, like I don't know how this is going to happen. But anyway, before the training, and again, I realize some people think like this is crazy, but I was waiting around for my trainer and I thought, okay, what's going to help me? Like, what can serve me right now? Because I'm just like panicking about this next training session. I mean, this is tough. So I literally stood at the door and I like repeated some affirmations out loud. Like, this is going to be like a great situation where I'm going to encounter a bunch of helpful people that just want to help me, or whatever I said. And basically, I thought it certainly cannot hurt me at all to repeat some affirmations because I need something to help me right now because I was about to like panic. And that day was like a really good situation. I went to the mall. I had a completely different attitude, which was, rather than being nervous, I thought of it as, hey, I have some skills. I'm not going to walk off a cliff into a hole. I'm at the mall. I can't get lost because I'm contained within the building. There's people everywhere. And based on my other experiences where navigating around the mall, I've had numerous people approach me because I probably looked like I was absolutely traumatized, which I was, asking to help me. And I thought, if I'm in this situation where I'm lost, maybe I can just wait around until someone helps me again. So the next day, and I believe this was the day, it was one of the pivotal days in the training. And that was, he gave me a huge assignment again where I needed to navigate around the mall, calling a couple different stores, asking for their location, and then based on where I was, asking very specific questions on how I can get to their location. And then my assignment was find the store and he would meet me there, my trainer. So again, my attitude was completely different. And the reason I think it was because I came into it with a completely different mindset based on the affirmations that I was repeating to myself before I even left the house. So I went into the mall rather than like a face full of fear. I walked into the mall like smiling and kind of laughing because I thought this is going to be fun. I'm going to have an opportunity to connect with a bunch of really cool people today. And that's exactly what I did. I had such a different attitude. And I feel like that was one of the two pivotal days in my training is basically just manipulating myself to approach the situation from a mindset of this is a great opportunity to connect with people versus this is going to be awful. And I think that's what did it for me. And that day was awesome. I mean, I felt like it was a huge success. I did the assignments he gave me. I ran into a couple of really nice people along the way. There was
You
one
actually
time,
called it your magic stick.
my magic stick. Yeah, the cane.
Because it
Hang
like
on.
okay, no, sorry.
Hang
I'm
on.
so excited.
So anyway, when I was navigating one time, I did get turned around and I didn't know what store I was out front. And this was before my trainer taught me how to use my phone to help me determine where I was. So I was actually kind of looking around like I was lost. But I knew about where I was, but not exactly. And a guy approached me and said, hey, can I help you? And I said, yeah, can you just tell me which store this is? And he said, oh, this is Macy's. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm turned around. So then I turned and I thought where the store was supposed to be that I was supposed to go to. And I said, is Williams Sonoma right over there? And I kind of pointed. And he said, yeah, can I walk you over there? And I said, no, but I really appreciate your help. And he said, okay. And that was kind of the end of the conversation. But then I knew exactly where to go based on this guy's help. So I went over to the wall and kind of trailed the wall over to Williams-Sonoma, where I was supposed to be meeting my trainer. And I arrived at the door and I was excited. I got here, right? It was really exciting. And like 30 seconds later, a woman walked out the door and said, oh, hi, can I help you? And I said, no, I'm just waiting here for somebody. Meanwhile, I mean, I was just like smiling ear to ear because it's like, I did it. I made my way to the store I was supposed to. Well, then my trainer came out and met me, and it was just awesome. Well, then he gave me another assignment. And meanwhile, as I was navigating to that store, I missed a hallway. It was like a little small hallway that I was supposed to go down. Well, I completely walked past it, and I ended up out in a courtyard. And I thought, okay, I don't know where I am, but I know I'm not in the right spot. So I'm swinging my cane around, well, not very fast, but kind of feeling around, trying to figure out where I am. And I was hitting something on my left side. And I thought, what is that? And I hit it like 3 times, and all of a sudden it started talking. It was a guy. It was a guy sitting on a bench, and I didn't know it. But anyway, it ended up being a really nice guy who definitely wanted to help me. And I asked him some questions, and I apologized over and over for hitting him in the legs with my cane. But anyway, he gave me the information I was looking for, and I made my way to the next store, and that was the end of my assignment. After, I think I found like 4 stores that day. But anyway, that day was, like I said a couple times, it was one of the pivotal days in my training because I gained so much confidence by having these awesome interactions with people when I was a little bit turned around. And I feel like after that day, I've almost never looked back as far as feeling traumatized with the training. I feel like it's been such a great experience from now on because I look at these training sessions as a way for me to grow and build my skills versus, oh no, what's today going to bring?
I agree. I think that that's true. I feel like you just really embraced it, and
Yeah.
like because you've had successes and because you've kind of changed that mindset, it's just made a huge difference, which is awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of other people are saying things too, like about like actually traffic is something a few people have brought up that's been kind of like that's like some of their traumatizing times. Someone else, Katie Johnson, said that she couldn't find her instructor the first time they met, which was really traumatizing.
Oh, wow.
They were supposed to meet at a Starbucks. It sounds like a lot of people have had like really tough times with their initial O&M training, and I just would say like congratulations for everyone who's had the ability to like persevere through that. I'm sure that it's been really worth it. If you haven't, maybe find a new trainer, maybe take some time.
Yeah.
But
I've also heard
I know
from
it's
a
really
couple
hard.
people in comment sections, like in the comments, a few people have had some really bad experiences with trainers. Like the trainer is just really bad. Like the trainer will allow the person to get into a dangerous situation. And I just feel like that's so wrong. You're there
Yeah.
to learn, not to be put into a dangerous situation and quote figure it out.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like that's totally wrong.
I think it's wrong too, and I think every trainer isn't meant for every person. I mean, obviously, it's a really personal thing to go through O&M training, and so I think you just need to find the right person.
Yeah.
You know, which it makes sense.
Exactly.
And I know it's not. I'm acting like it's super easy to get rid of your trainer and get a new trainer. I know that it's not easy to do that.
It's not easy,
and it's
but another
also
thing-
emotionally hard, and also
Yeah.
you have to like. It's a lot of work. So I'm not saying it's easy, but it's worth it.
Another thing too, you need to advocate for yourself too. I mean, so don't feel bad to fire your trainer. Seriously, don't feel bad at all if they're
You're the
not a good.
consumer.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're the
exactly.
consumer. You're in charge, and it's important to feel like
You really
can
are
do
in
that.
charge. So I feel like if you're hiring them to give you services, if they're not the right for you, fire them and find someone else.
Yes.
You can do that, and don't feel bad about it either. I mean, it's not always going to be a perfect fit.
Katie Johnson wrote, "It can feel like a fail when you cannot find a place. It is not a fail. It is one part of your body that is not working. It is not your fault. And to everyone getting out there, you are rocking it." Good.
Yeah,
I like
it sounds
that.
good.
I think that
Yeah.
that's perfect. I think that that's perfect.
Right.
It is true. And I just think it's huge to like try and put yourself out there.
Somebody also commented on, I think it was the last video, they wrote something about like, if you're out navigating and you need to ask for help, that's not a failure, but rather you're still being independent. You may just need to ask for help. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. From my experience navigating around, it's almost like I need to put a sign on me that says, don't talk to me, because I have so many people approaching me asking like, hey, can I help you out? Or, can I help you? Do you need help with directions or something like that? I mean, I have so many people approaching me. It's funny. Like, I just tell Corey, like, I've met some friends today.
Yeah, and it's cool
It's
because
funny.
what's awesome is like sighted people, we just sit on our phones when we walk around the store. Like we don't socialize with anyone, and Matt like has this opportunity to like meet everybody, which is so cool. Which I think is really really neat. Yeah, people are agreeing about getting out there. Actually, Blind Neil made a good point. Same with eye doctors. If you are not finding the right person, you need to find the second opinion.
Yeah.
That's true. Doctors
So
are
true.
huge. If you don't feel like your doctor's listening to you, if you can get a new doctor, you should.
Yep.
And that's actually with eye doctors we're talking about, but with any medical professional, if you don't feel like they're right for you, switch. Even if you have a therapist or somebody, whatever. If you are not working well with them, if they are not working with you, switch.
Yep. Very true.
That's your right. You're a consumer. They, it's just like any other service. They are just providing a service, and you need the right person for you.
Yeah.
So
So
I
true.
think that's really good. So Matt, I think you should talk about how. Let's see here. Actually, Lemon Curl said, "Have you ever considered finding a trainer who is already blind?"
Huh.
That's actually something we talked about.
Yeah.
So Blind Inc. Is that right?
Yep.
They only have blind. In our Minnesota, Blind Inc. only has blind employees. Is that correct?
Maybe it's blind
Low
O&M
vision-
instructors.
Yeah, there's something about that.
Yeah.
And so that we would have done that. You just interviewed people and found the right person for you, kind of outside of their vision. You just when you interviewed people, some were sighted and some had low vision.
Yeah.
And you just picked the person who you fit well with. But you
Yeah.
would totally.
It didn't really matter who I chose. I just chose the person that connected most with not only my personality, but the person that answered my questions most properly. And I feel like
Yeah.
this guy did a perfect job. So I thought this guy sounds like a really good fit.
Yeah, he would
So
just
that's why
kind
I
of
chose.
fit you. And so, but you would totally have a blind person do it.
Sure. Yeah.
Would you ever consider being an O&M instructor? That's my
Maybe
question.
someday. Maybe someday. It might be interesting.
What would you,
Yeah.
I always think he'd be cool at doing stuff like that.
Yeah. But another thing too, I just want to mention, if you're someone who has not gone through O&M and you're on the fence on it about it a little bit, if you're just feeling like, oh, I should, but I don't want to, I just want to give you the encouragement that everybody has been giving me, which is go for it. It might be tough initially, maybe not. Just because my experience doesn't mean it's going to be for you, but trust me, at some point it's going to get a lot better and you'll be very glad you did. It's one of these situations where you don't know how good it is until you actually go through with it and get the skills, and then you realize, why didn't I do this 5 years ago?
It's really cool.
It really is.
It's really cool. You've set some goals for yourself, I feel like, throughout this time. And it's been really cool to see you meet goals that we thought were lofty. I mean, it's just been cool in a couple of weeks, just the things that you've been able to do. It is changing your life.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's changing our life, which is really awesome.
And there's still a lot more to learn. I mean, by no means am I an expert at all with this.
Yeah.
I think I've had like 9 or 10 sessions. So I mean,
Yeah, we're just touching the surface.
yeah. And if you didn't catch Corey's video, when was that? I don't know, a few weeks ago, Corey's video. But I just want to throw this in there real quick. My very last day at the mall, we were actually done at the mall the day before, but my trainer said, we can come back tomorrow if there's something else you want to work on. And I said, yeah, you know what? I actually have a goal for tomorrow and I want to come back. And my goal was I wanted to start at our normal starting spot, which was outside of Nordstrom's, and then use all the skills that he taught me to make my way to a specific store and buy a Christmas gift for Corey. And I mean, I literally have not gone to a store independently by myself in like 8 years and done something like that. So that was an incredibly liberating experience. I couldn't tell you how I was feeling after that. I mean, there's literally no words to describe how I felt after that experience. It was like, it was just incredible. Yeah.
And when like I got home and he had the gift waiting for me and he'd written me a note about the journey,
She just cried and cried and cried.
I think we both cried. Did we both cry?
I think you just cried.
It was a lot of hugging and crying. But it was really super cool because it was just one of those things that I didn't marry Matt thinking like, I'm going to get a blind person who's going to get really good at doing everything and then it's going to be super easy. I just picked him, or I picked Matt for who he was today, and that's how was good with him being forever. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I didn't think like, oh, well, I'll like him better when he can do more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing these changes, it's like, oh my gosh, like, what if that did change?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cool. I want him to be happier, and he's happier when he's more free.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to know, KSK415 said, have you used your cane in the gym? Gyms aren't designed for low vision. That's actually I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So that's one of the goals that I wanted to work on with my trainer, is eventually being able to go to the gym by myself. But just like you mentioned, when we go to the gym, I mean, it's going to be tough to be able to figure that one out. That's just my opinion on it right now, because there is debris all over the floor. Debris being like people, mats, weights, ropes, everything you can think of, like scattered all over the floor. So I completely agree with you. I don't know how a gym can be friendly for a low vision person, but that's one of my goals, and I'm not sure how my trainer will do it, but hopefully he can figure it out and I can become independent there. But I do use my cane going into the locker room at the gym, and I found that that's really helpful, because it's always awkward walking into the gym and bumping into some, dude, clothed or not clothed. Awkward.
Certain situations are best
Yeah.
to not bump into people.
Yeah.
The airport, people don't like you all up in their space at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
In a locker room.
Yeah.
Those are two good spots.
Mm-hmm.
A bathroom, trying to get all up on somebody in a urinal, be bad.
Yeah.
I think, though, that would be a good goal for that could be like a future goal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I'm going to see if there's anybody who said, let's see, Blind Hunter or Macho Hunter, I'm sorry.
Macho Hunter.
Where did you get your cane? He wants to know.
Yeah, so I actually made a video about that, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. NFB actually has a free white cane program. What is the website? Not sure. I don't remember. I don't recall right off exactly what the website is.
I think it's NFB.com.
No, it's like
free cane program.
It's like free cane. I don't know.
If you Google it.
Yeah, you can do that. But otherwise, check out that video. It was maybe like a month ago, roughly. But anyway, that's where I have two of my canes from right now. It's just like a rigid cane. It's not collapsible, which it's not always convenient, but it's nice to have around the house to navigate around like the neighborhood. But yeah, you can get a free white cane from them every 6 months. Otherwise, they do have really nice collapsible canes, which I have not bought, but that's the one I've been using with my trainer. He has it and lets me use it. I really like it. I feel like it's a nice one.
It seems sturdy. Thomas Doobie is here.
Hey, Thomas.
Hi. And I've said hello in the comments to a few people. There's just a break for me to say.
Okay.
So
good.
Yeah, so it's really good. So I think
Questions?
those are some good questions. I don't think there's other questions. If you guys have other questions, now is a good time to put them in if you think of it. Just because this video has gotten a little long, and we appreciate everyone being here, but we also want to respect your time somewhat,
Yeah.
Respect your time. Any other feelings you have about cane training, or any other things people want to know about cane training?
Mm-hmm.
It's been really, I'm going to tell Matt, I'll read Matt your comments when this is over too. I've been doing some commenting.
Okay, good.
To the commenters. People have liked that maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the House Sports and Politics. What's next on O&M training for you?
I think we are going to train around the neighborhood one more time using Blind Square. So the last time we trained with Google Maps, and it's pretty good, but he said that my trainer said that Blind Square is better. So we'll see about that. My assignment this weekend is to download Blind Square and get a little bit acquainted with it, so that on Monday when we have our next session, we can train around with that a little bit. But he said it's a little bit better. So that's what we're going to be doing next. But then after that, we're going to be doing what he calls semi-industrial navigation. So I think we're going to be navigating around like the business district, like small businesses, not like downtown Minneapolis. So I think that's next. So basically doing the same thing we were doing in the mall, but outside finding little storefronts.
Massimo wants to know what O&M stands for: orientation and mobility.
Yep.
Orientation and mobility. It's white cane training. Actually, just a side note, I did not realize how much orientation was involved in orientation and mobility training. Like that, it's not about tapping. It's about like literally figuring out where you are, which is interesting. Let's see here. Somebody said blind square is complex. Let's see here. Katie Johnson said, I feel your guys' anxiety with living away from... Oh, it's hard to... Okay, let's see here. Tabitha Jackson, preferences on cane tips. Maybe not yet, because you don't know yet.
Yeah, all the canes I've used have the same tip, which is just the metal tip. But through the comments section, a lot of people I've connected with over the last few months, it seems like everybody loves the marshmallow tip or the like a roller ball. Is that the right name for it?
Rollerball, I think.
Rollerball, yeah. It seems like those are the two that continuously come up in the comments section all the time, but that people prefer. So I've never personally used either one of those, but it sounds like those are very popular.
But like I keep saying it when we were on the ship navigating, because that's where I was mostly with Matt when he was doing his cane training. But there were times when it was like, oh, I totally see where the marshmallow tip would be better than like the little tip. So it'll be interesting. And I know some people like there's like off road and like different things.
Yep.
Let's see here. Do you think you'll ever do a solo travel? Do you think you'll ever do solo travel, such as a short trip?
I would love to. I would love to do that. Yeah. Maybe that could be a goal for, I don't know when. I don't even know when to put a timeline on that one, but that'd be really awesome to be able to do that. So I've never thought, well, I shouldn't say I've never thought of it. I've definitely thought of it. I would love to do that.
That is one of the things that he's talked about. Like he always says, like if he gets his sight back, he'll just be like on a plane.
Yep.
Like alone. So I mean, it would be cool. We ran into somebody who is blind at the airport.
Yeah.
In Boston. And she was had light perception only as well. And Marisol, if you're watching.
Marisol, yeah.
And that was cool because it was like, oh my gosh, here's like a blind person like Matt who's like alone in an airport, like traveling. And I was like, oh my gosh, could that be you?
Yeah, what was interesting is we were talking and she actually said that she had O&M lessons right there in the airport, even when she was not traveling. Like they got special passes to go through like security and train right there in the airport because she said she travels a lot. So I thought, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to be able to train right there in the airport.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool. So I do think that that's a goal that you have for the future just because it's something that you would love to do, even if it's just a short trip just to kind of test it all out and really like
fly to Vegas, spend a night, and fly home. And that would be the ultimate.
He would break the bank. That would break the bank.
I wouldn't actually.
I know. Yeah. So I think... Okay. Tiffany Milburn is going to put in the comments how to get the cane.
Perfect.
She went to the website, found the link, and she's going to put it in the comments.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks,
and
Tiffany.
Beat the House Sports and Politics said Vegas, let's go. You guys could have like a blind... I know that they just did this like where there's like a real conference.
Yeah.
But that'd be awesome. You could
Mandalay Bay.
It could be like at...
Wynn.
Like, okay, at the Wynn, but it would be like at the airport. Okay, everybody make sure your flights land at like 2 p.m. on the certain date, and then the airport would be flooded with blind people.
Yeah.
That'd be super
funny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Could be like a flash mob. A blind flash mob.
Yeah.
That'd be super awesome.
That would be cool.
So that's great. Okay, do you think we should end it here?
Yeah, probably.
We really, really... okay, Richard Sowell.
Hey, Richard.
Hi. He wants to know what your workout schedule is like.
My workout schedule. Currently, the workout schedule includes sitting on the couch. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we just haven't really worked out regularly lately, but I would say we try to hit the gym like minimum 3 times a week, and I usually try to work out at home at least like 1 or 2 times a week also. So I feel like 4 to 5 times a week is what we go for. Doesn't always happen, but I would say a little bit of cardio. Not a huge fan of cardio, But I like to do a little bit of that just to get warmed up and whatever. But then I basically just kind of hit some weights. I do a lot of when we're at the gym. I do like cable machines, and the reason I do that is trying to navigate around the free weights area as a low vision person is just tough. So I prefer cable machines, and it allows me to manipulate the weight in like a range of motion that works for me. So I feel like those work well for me, and then that's what I do. So basically, I isolate different muscle groups different days of the week. So maybe one day I'll hit biceps really hard. Maybe the next day I'll do like triceps, shoulders, something like that. And maybe another day I'll do, or maybe I'll do like chest and triceps one day, or I mix it up.
And he
But
also eats pretty clean.
I
So
try
that's another
to.
thing.
I think the main key is just some of the days I really isolate like one muscle group and I just hit it really hard for like an hour straight, and I literally like can't move at the end of the session. It's great.
It is. What did you do the other day that you got really sore from? It was something that was kind of embarrassing.
Oh, I did a bunch of push-ups the other day.
Yeah.
And like the next day, my triceps were on fire for like 3 days.
And he's like pretty strong, and he just did a few push-ups, so that was
Yeah, it
pretty
was
awesome.
weird. It
It's
must have
good
been
to-
my grip, my hand position. I don't know what, but my triceps are never like that after push-ups. But this time they were just like burning.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but
that's
yeah,
good. And
interesting.
then Beat the House Sports and Politics wants to know, and this is good to mention, are you going to do another video to promote other blind channels anytime soon?
Yeah.
This is a good time to mention
Perfect
this.
time to mention this. Hey, thanks for bringing this up, Chris. I appreciate it. Yeah, so we actually produced a video, I don't know, again, probably a month and a half ago, something like that. Yes, we're bringing back the self-promotional project. I was going to do an official announcement here in early January, so probably like in the next week or two, I'll do the official announcement. But yeah, so we're collecting videos, 30-second videos promoting yourself or your blind community, whether that's a channel, a Facebook group, Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, a website. It doesn't matter what it is. Vlog, anything low vision related, you can definitely participate. Just send a 30-second video clip, and
you're going to send it to...
Send it to the, first of all, you're going to go to wetransfer.com, and you're going to send the video clip to me through wetransfer.com to the email address blindtobillionaire@gmail.com.
Yep.
But watch that video from a couple weeks ago. It says something like, I think the title is like, we're giving away $1,500 and self-promotional project. It's something like that. Watch that video for the details. Otherwise, the official announcement will be out in like a week or two.
Yeah, we're going to make a more
But yes,
succinct
we're
video.
definitely doing that video again. And I've already received a few submissions.
That's great.
Yeah.
Before we end, I think we should also tell people about the live stream that's going on later today.
Oh, yeah. So Sam isn't here, is he?
Sam, I don't think Sam's here. He's probably prepping for his live stream. But
Yeah.
we want to promote his live stream
Yeah.
later
So
today.
later
just
today.
because we scheduled ours, and then I was like, oh, shoot, he has one in like 2 hours from now.
Yeah.
So we want to promote his.
Yeah, definitely. If you're not aware of Sam the Blind Life, you probably all heard of him. But anyway, he's doing a live stream later today, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. And what he's doing is he's giving away 15 pairs of the Cavalier sunglasses from two blind brothers. So be sure to be there for that. He's giving away 15 pairs of those. He's also giving away 3 no jab canes. He's giving those away right there in the live stream. So
yeah. So if you can only win if you're in the live stream.
yeah. So, well, I don't think so.
For the three canes.
3 canes, yeah.
But the glasses, it's different, I think.
Yeah, so be sure to be there on Sam's live stream. Also, he's giving away a bunch of really cool stuff. But if you're there, be sure to leave a comment down below and say, hey, shout out to Blindtobillionaire.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for the info. But yeah, anyway, that should be a cool live stream from Sam.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hopefully this video was somewhat valuable. I don't know if we kept on track the whole time.
I think we did okay. It seems like everybody's pretty happy.
Yeah.
Or the people who are writing are happy.
Right. I'm glad we could do a live stream again. It's been so long, like literally 4 months probably.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. We always appreciate your support. We look so forward to hearing from you all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And we love to, I'm just really enjoying your communication to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's something that we really value in our channel is not just us communicating to you guys, but also you communicating to each other, because I think that that's really awesome.
Yeah, right. If you ever have any video suggestions or comments, questions, apps, anything that you want us to talk about, let us know. Like, leave a comment down below on any of the videos, and I always see all of the comments and I respond to everybody as well. So leave any suggestions down below and we'll try to do that for you at some point.
Yes.
So yeah, just keep that in mind always.
Yeah,
Final
that's
thoughts?
great. That's all. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate it. And we'll catch you on Monday.
Okay.
Right?
Bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Thanks for being here.